Imagine you knew how to turn £5 into £24,000. Well, I paid over £10,000 for this knowledge, and I'm going to give it to you for free and show you step by step what I did. Here is exactly how I did it so that you can copy me. No, it's not trading, and it's not crypto or another meme coin that is supposed to go to the moon, and it's also not FBA or any other e-commerce related business. In fact, it's what all the gurus are actually making their money on without ever telling you. I'll show you what to sell, how to sell it, and how much to charge. Do you have £5 spare? If not, go and borrow it from someone you know, or just don't go to Costa Coffee for a couple of days and you can afford to do this. The greatest investment you can make is not in the stock market or any other asset class. It's in your knowledge, which is why I wrote the book Knowledge Worth Millions after making over £3 million online after leaving my day job.
Has this been a good session today?
Yes. Now I'm on a mission to help as many people become financially independent by starting and growing their own businesses. Knowledge gives you access to everything you ever wanted. If I had Mr. Beast knowledge about YouTube, maybe I'd have 1 million subscribers, but I don't, which is why I only have 10. Luckily, I have marketing knowledge and I know how to turn £1 into £2, £3, £4 or more. Knowing how to make a profit on advertising is one of the greatest skills you can learn and will consistently produce a positive return regardless of what's going on in the world or in the economy. Let me show you how this works. To help me illustrate the point, I'm going to read page 164 from my book. Think of it like a slot machine where you put £1 in at the top and £2 or £6 or £12 come out the bottom. How cool would that be? Anyway, let me put this down for a second. So imagine this, for every £1 you spend on advertising, you get £2 back out the other end. And then what you do is you take the £2 and you put that in at the top and you get £4 out the other end. And you keep doing that again and again and again, just like a giant slot machine. But you may be thinking, what do you sell to make those kinds of returns? It's easy. You sell a product that is part of the $1 trillion e-learning industry. I'm talking about things like online courses, coaching, consulting, agency services, membership sites, softwares, to name a few. 90% of online entrepreneurs all have an e-learning product. Maybe it's time you got yours. So now you know what to sell, I'm going to show you how you sell it. You see, there is only 2 ways of selling something. Number 1, you either sell online, where people go to some kind of sales page, checkout page, and they complete their order by putting in their details and their credit card details, and they check out. Or the second way is in person. That could be on a phone call, on a Zoom conversation. It could be an in-person meeting or even on stage if you are some sort of speaker. But there is only 2 ways of selling, online or in person. Once you know that, it becomes a lot easier to learn this whole process. Now, the main vehicle to getting people to buy is called a video presentation. Call it a webinar, case study, VSL, it doesn't matter. It's just a simple online video presentation that's designed to help your prospect take the next step, which could be either to check out on a sales page or book a phone call with you or your team. Let me show you exactly what this looks like. You have a simple ad at the start. And that then leads into a landing page of some sort, inviting people to watch a presentation. Then they register, and that leads into your video presentation. And the next step is either to check out on a sales page or book a phone call with your team. But this next step is the most important, and it's where the majority of people fall down. The next step is knowing your numbers. What do I mean? The 2 most important metrics are your CAC and your LTV. Now, if you know those numbers, congratulations. If you don't, I'm going to show you. Number 1 is your CAC, which stands for customer acquisition cost. And the second number you need to know is your LTV, which is your customer lifetime value. How do you work out your customer lifetime value? Very simple. Number 1, you take the client transaction value, which could be, let's say, £1,000 in this example. Number 2, you take the client transactions per year. And the third one is the duration in years. In other words, how many years does that client stay with you? In this example, I'm going to use 3 years. So let's go ahead and work this example out. 1 times 2 times 3. £1,000 times 2 equals £2,000. Times that by 3 equals £6,000. And that is our customer lifetime value in this example. Once you know that figure, you can get to work on customer acquisition. But the problem is most people simply do not know what that number is. If a client paid you £1,000 for your product, but you spent £900 to acquire that customer, it's not a very good business model, is it? And on page 164 of my book, I break it down for you. Starbucks coffee is around $5, but the average customer lifetime value is $14,000 over the years they continue to remain a customer and buy their drinks. This is why they can afford to spend huge amounts of money on their marketing, because every person that walks through the door is worth $14,000 to them. This is why the business that can afford to spend the most amount of money to acquire a customer will always win. But if you sell something for 20 or 50 pounds, you will always struggle because you just don't have the margin to acquire new customers. Now back to me. How was I able to turn £5 into £24,000? Here is exactly step by step how I did it. We were running an ad campaign for £5 per day, which was driving people into a video presentation. One customer purchased a product at £6,000. She did so well on that particular program and got massive ROI that she upgraded to our £18,000 program. And that brought her total lifetime value so far to £24,000. Not bad for an initial £5 per day advertising campaign. This is how everyday people are becoming e-learning millionaires, by winning the game of advertising using the principles I just showed you. Maybe now is a good time to cover how to make your first or next £100,000 with e-learning products.